Welcome to part 2 of my video about your questions about riding in the Black Hills. Today we're going to talk about riding motorcycles, adventure riding, and some things you ought to keep in mind. So thanks for joining us, and let's get started. This is actually the 6-month anniversary of our channel. We're quite happy with all the response we've gotten and all the very nice comments we've gotten from everybody, and I thought we'd take this time to go ahead and answer a few questions that people sent me. So with that in mind, let's get started. Will K writes, "Do you need a trail permit to camp, and is there a fee? I like your videos, good information." Well, thank you, Will. Yes and no. If you want to do dispersed camping, popularly known as boondock camping, you can do that for free. There's no fees involved. You just go to federal land, and as long as it's not prohibited, you can camp there. If the area you choose to camp is on a regular road, say a county road or a road that doesn't require a trail permit, a good example of that might be Calumet Road. There's a place just north of Sheridan Lake that's people camp. You don't need a trail permit. But if you want to go to one of the 3 or 4 numbered trails and camp up there, really boondock camping, you do need a trail permit for every vehicle that's there. That's good. I mean, that's an annual permit. You buy it once, you're covered. So, but there are no facilities. If you choose to stay in a Forest Service campground, there are fees, and they range from very low, say about $6 up to more than $30, depending on the campground. And for that, you might get an electrical hookup in some campgrounds, but you don't get any sewer. It's not a full hookup. You get a fire ring, a picnic table. Usually there's somebody there all the time to kind of keep an eye on things. If you need a full service campground, you have to go commercial, and there you get everything. You can get the sewer hookup, the water hookup, everything. And they're correspondingly more expensive. It's either lead dog or lead dog. Around here we call it lead. The town is lead. People from around here call it lead. It's spelled the same way, L-E-A-D. But anyway, lead dog. I guess it's lead dog. You didn't mention the bugs. They can get pretty bad when it's warm out. I think he's mostly referring to the motorcycle videos. We got some big nasty bugs you'll run into if you're riding a motorcycle on the road. But if you're on the trail system, bugs aren't really a problem except for one little species, and that's your wood ticks. And you need to be aware that if you stay on your ATV and you don't lay around in the grass or brush through trees or something, wood ticks aren't going to be a problem. But if you get off your ATVs, you sit around and have a picnic or something, you could pick up a wood tick. And if you do that, make sure you get it off of you. Don't let it bite. And after a day on the trail, make sure you take a bath or a shower with somebody you love so they can check you for ticks, because you don't want them things. They do carry Lyme disease, which is the worst, but they also carry other diseases. So you don't want them biting you. The good news is, if you find a wood tick embedded, you got 24 hours to take it off before it'll infect you. Okay? Because the infection doesn't happen immediately. What the first thing a wood tick does is it buries its heads. Well, you're bleeding, and it's gorging on the blood, so it's like a one-way flow. It's only when the wood tick starts to get gorged that the blood from his intestines go back into you, and that's where you get the disease. But even so, you want to take wood ticks off as fast as you can. All right. Here's Chris F. Well, he's a spy here. I think I saw you out on the road a week ago. I noticed the 310 GS and was super excited. As a closet lover of all things BMW and the GS series of bikes, I was on a Yamaha Bolt C spec, just bombing away on my way to some roads less traveled. I do have a question, though, about your bike options. Why did you not consider KLR? Was it just the seat height? Because they're not so heavy, they're always very cheap, and reliability is unquestionable. Yeah, that's good. They're great bikes. This is mostly about ATVs and trail riding, and I'm kind of a BMW guy. When I was shopping for this little light trail bike, I did a video on this. If you want to find it, it's in there somewhere. I'll tell you all about it. But it came down to a couple bikes, and mostly it was about lightweight and seat height. I like the lower seat. So the BMW only has a 32, maybe 32.5 inch seat. It's low, and makes it easier, presumably, to keep it upright. That didn't help last week when I dumped it. I was coming up on a very muddy, slippery bank, and I couldn't hold it. It went down and kind of put a little strain on my back, which is why I'm sitting here today. But I'm glad I didn't have a bigger bike. I mean, if I had a bigger bike, I'd probably still be there. So yeah, that's good. You know, they're all good. I don't think you can buy a really bad bike anymore. It's not like the old days where, you know, you could get one that would kill you in a heartbeat. Most modern bikes, if you like them, they're good. You know, all the brands are very competitive nowadays. Okay, Coyote A. Congratulations on the bike. Loving mine so far. You must be another 310 GS owner. It's an extremely capable bike, and I'm building it into something even more capable than the stock. It has only 38 horsepower, but is really, really good at torque in the low end, way down low in the RPM range, right where it is needed most off-road. 85 mile an hour on the interstate. There's no sweat either. Smiley face. That doesn't seem to be a question, but I have to agree with him. I like that BMW. It's a nice little bike. Finally, I got a question here from Jason, I believe. He was asking about the Dakar adventure ride in South Dakota, and frankly, I don't know too much about it. I have seen it online. It's an adventure ride that takes 5 days. It goes from the Nebraska border to the North Dakota border through South Dakota. It comes up through Edgemont and then takes all back roads through the Black Hills. There's no highway riding anywhere. Eventually it emerges in the prairies north of Spearfish and follows the prairie on up to North Dakota. I wish I could say more about it. I've seen some of the trails, some of the roads that the adventure bikers take. They wouldn't be my first choice, but and it seems to be an organized ride, and I think you can find it. You can just Google it, and they'll give you information about it. But really, I don't know too much about it. Well, that's the end of this video, or these videos. It's going to be a two-parter. If you like this, let us know. Give us a comment. If you want to subscribe, we do put up 1 or 2 videos a month. We're not a big outfit. We don't have a production crew, so these are just real amateur productions. And we try to stick to information specific to the Black Hills and specific to outdoor sports in the Black Hills, particularly sports that require motors and wheels. The majority of our videos are about ATV and UTV riding. We do a little bit of adventure riding with an adventure bike, and a very small amount of 4x4 stuff. Primarily because there's the 4x4 is pretty well covered elsewhere. But again, if you like us, and if you want, you can subscribe. And of course, any comments you want to send us, or any private email you can send us, we always appreciate. We will try to get back to you with an answer if we can. And since this is our 6-month anniversary, maybe in another 6 months we'll do a couple more videos like this with any new questions we have. So once again, thanks for joining us and taking the time to watch this all the way to the end. Bye.